Hello, viewers of Pinoy Chess. We are at the second game in this Airthings Masters Finals between uh, Teimour Radjabov and Levon Aronian, and this is game two of the day one of the finals. So let's go back to the early stages of the game so that we can see what happened. And again, this is Lansky. Uh, Wait, I shall close something so that we can get a good view of the board. Oh, what just happened? I'm unable to uh, close this thing. Okay, okay, that's good. So let's maximize this. Sorry for that. Sorry for the delay. Oh, so let's go back to the starting position of the game. So Levon Aronian is uh, white here. So we have here e4. So I think this is a very exciting fight since it's an e4 opening. Okay, so what just happened? It goes to my email. Okay, sorry for that. I think I have to fix this. I should have this into my open application. I need to make this default to Google Chrome. Okay, so it's Google Chrome now. So even if I have to click this, there's something wrong with this. Okay. Okay, don't worry with that. I just have to stay with Google Chrome. So uh, again, this is Lansky of Pinoy Chess, and this is a coverage of the game between Radjabov and Aronian. So Aronian is white, and we have e4, c5, a Sicilian game. This is very exciting. Knight f3 and knight c6. Let's go fast so that we can go to the uh, current move that they have made. And we have now bishop b5. So this is a variation in the Sicilian. This is a favorite of Eugene Torre. This bishop b5 variation, I forgot what it's called. And we have e6. So bishop takes c6. So Aronian goes for, I think, less less debated opening here. And b takes c6, d3. So he's trying to close the position. Instead of d4, he goes d3 and castling. So after that, queen c7, we have castling by Levon, and knight e7 and h4. This h4 is really very popular today. This kind of move, I think the purpose is to go h5 and restrict the knight from going to g6. And we have now e5. So what Radjabov is doing is controlling this d4 square with his pawn at c5 and e5. And we have, as I have said, h5 preventing the knight from jumping to g6. Okay, we now have d6. The only drawback with h5 is that it's if bishop goes g4, then this uh, h5 cannot be protected, and since it's at h5 already, it cannot drive away the bishop if ever it goes to g4. So this is basically forced to have the knight get away from being pinned at f3. Okay, we have h6, and I think Aronian would go f4 sometime here. Oh, he immediately goes f4. Okay, so takes, takes, and then we have g5. Okay, that's en passant. It could be taken by the pawn at h5. It could go hg6 en passant, but he does not go for it, and it cannot be taken later through en passant. So bishop d2 here, and we now have bishop g7. So bishop c3, countering the bishop, castling, and then exchange with the bishop exchange here, king g7, and uh, queen, we now have queen e1, so d5 is not possible because of queen c3 check, and then queen would take on the pawn at c5. Okay, we have bishop e6, so that's their current move, uh, bishop e6, so we have caught up with them. Okay, let's see what would happen. So just enjoy the show. I think this would be a little bit long because they are allowed, I think, a 10-second increment for every move. So by the time it's already time pressure, all they have to do is to move fast, and the game could go on and on. So basically, this 10 minutes and 9 minutes is not indicative of the length of the remaining time of the game. It could go beyond 20 minutes or 19 minutes. It could go beyond that. It could be 25 or 30 minutes more. So let's just enjoy this live stream. And this is Lansky of Pinoy Chess. And if you have not yet subscribed to Pinoy Chess, I invite you to subscribe and be part of the community of subscribers of Pinoy Chess. Basically, Pinoy Chess is, if you support it, it would result to uh, you supporting tournament for kids here in the Philippines. Part of the income of this channel would be used to support uh, the development of chess for the youth. So I hope you do support this channel. And don't forget to click on the notification bell button so that whenever we have a new video that we would be sharing and uploading or live streaming, you would immediately get notified. Okay, basically, uh, it's an exciting game here, and Radjabov has made the move King H7 so that his king would not be in check. Okay, let's try to predict the move of Levon Aronian here. He still has a undeveloped knight at b1. So the knight at b1 beside the rook at the left is still undeveloped, and it should be developed and should participate in the game. Okay, so what do you think? I think it's knight bd2, or it's knight d2 because there's no other knight that could go to d2 at this point. So I'm a fan of Radjabov here. Yeah, I'm a fan of Radjabov. Although I'm also a fan of Levon Aronian, I'm more of a fan. I'm a Radja fan because during my college days, or yeah, Radja is already playing, is already popular, and he's a prodigy. He has defeated Kasparov a couple of times. And let's go to the point of view of Radja here, of the black pieces. So let's flip the board. Okay, so we're now at the point of view Raja, and you can see that the black side of the game is at the bottom part. Okay, I think Aronian is basically thinking how to proceed here after knight d2. Actually, after knight d2, Raja could go f5 in order to prevent this f6 square from being weakened. So because the rook is a little in some form is controlling this f6 square, although it could be driven away by the knight with knight f6, but it's still an uncomfortable position. If you go knight g8, that would really restrict the position of your king. Kind of a very dangerous position for black. Okay, so I hope I have improved the user experience for the viewers of Pinoy Chess. As you can see, there's no more square around me. You cannot see the square of the camera or the rectangular frame of the camera. So because at my back, I already have my green screen, and I configured that green screen to be a transparent tip. So uh, it makes my background disappear because green screen are designed for that. Okay, so it seems that I'm just floating uh, in front of the screen of the computer here. So basically, I got it right. So Levon made the knight d2 move. Oh, so let's guess the move again here of these grandmasters. So I'm guessing, is it f5? Although f5 is a little bit tricky because it would weaken your actually weaken your king side. Pawns cannot go back, as they say, and it would permanently damage your position. Although there is a also something to gain there because you are preventing black from pointing directly to that f6 square. Okay, because it seems that this f6 square, if it's controlled by black by occupation or by targeting it with pieces, it's very difficult for uh, it would be controlled by white. I mean, if it's occupied by pieces or targeted by pieces, it could go rook f2, then rook f1, and it's a very strong position if Lebon could get that to happen. So that's it. I'm correct there. F5 is really forced. Although you weaken that position, there's no other way of preventing white from dominating this F file. Because if there is doubling of the rooks of the F file by white, then it's really a lost cause, I think, for Livon. So for Raja. So Raja really made this difficult decision of weakening his king side in order to prevent. So chess is really basically a game of managing your risk. So there's a move there, rook e1. So you manage your risk in a way that you gave something up, but also you gain on the other aspects of the game. So the king side of black was weakened, but he is also preventing white from controlling certain critical squares and critical file, which is f1. So the threat of this move, rook a e1, the threat here is for the e4 pawn to take on f5, and it would result to white having control of this e file. So another thing, I think it's now forced for Teimour Radjabov to go f4 to prevent this rook from e1 by white of taking control of the e file. Okay, if I'm black, that's my move f4. So you can see here this pawn at h5. This pawn at h5, basically it's really plus a plus for white because it's restricting the movement of black's pieces. It actually hinders this knight from going to the g6 square. Okay, so that's the purpose of this move. It would be a headache for black for a long time, but in the end game, this could prove to be a liability because this pawn is unsupported. It would be difficult for this G pawn to support this H pawn because if it goes G5, it could be taken, and if it's the black pawn at F4 at F5 goes F4, if this goes here, then there would be en passant. I think my move was executed by by the system before Raja made that move. But as I have predicted, Raja would definitely be making that f4 move. Okay, so we have f4 here as I have predicted that Teimour Radjabov would make. So what would be the move by Levon here? So Levon made this e5 move. So he really intends to open up uh, this e file. So basically, I think yes, d5 was forced, and uh, Raja is forced to sacrifice that c5 pawn because if he won't sacrifice that, there would be very strong uh, rook staring down at that e5, at that e6, at that e7 square. So he just had to allow that to happen. Okay, so there is how many pawns for white? There is seven, and there is six for black. So basically, Levon Aronian is uh, ahead by one pawn here, and the engine says that Levon or white is basically ahead in has a material advantage or has a considerable advantage here, a big advantage. So how do you see the engine evaluation? This one. So white, it says white is much better by 1.10. Okay. I don't know what that means. Is it material? But I think it's material. I think Live One would win this game if Raja would not be able to do something about this. So basically, here you can see Queen B6. So Raja intends to exchange queens. So if there's no queens on the board, it's easier for him to draw, to hold this game even with one pawn down. So that's the rationale of Queen B6. Okay, so the king has to centralize itself in preparation for the endgame here. Okay, so you may be asking why white would not take on the knight at e7. It's because it's pinned. The white queen at c5 is pinned because uh, the white king at g1 is at the diagonal of the black queen at b6. Okay, so we have a centralization here with king g7 by black. So what do you think would be the move here? Do you think it's queen takes b6 and then uh, you could expect moves like knight d4? I think that Radjabov would want that for Levon to go queen takes b6 and then a takes b6 for him, and it would be easier for him to handle the end game. Although it's really very dangerous for black also. So let's see, queen takes b6, a takes b6, and then we have uh, knight d4, and then basically bishop d7 is forced. So example, if this, let's make a move for them. If this is just a viewer variation that they have inserted in this notation. If we got this one, and then this is no, this is not forced because there's a knight guarding this c6 pawn. But how do you protect this? If you go king like that, then this pawn is pinned by the rook at f1. So basically, I think this is forced. And then we have this one. Okay, it's not good for white because this h5 pawn would fall. Okay, so what move did they make? So let's see. Okay. Uh, Levon decided not to exchange queen, so he goes for uh, rook f2. So this queen at c5 is not anymore pinned. So there's a real threat of this queen taking on this knight. Okay. Ah, what happened? Let's remove this one. Let's remove this. So the move made by Raja is rook a e7. So as I've said, it has to be protected now because the queen is not anymore pinned. Okay, let's remove the variation we made in the notation of the game. They won't be seeing those things. Even this engine evaluation are not viewed by the players. They have their system there. So what's the time? The time is it's already 11:27. So they're both in panic time. As you can see, Raja is 3 minutes and 37 seconds, and Levon is 3 minutes and 29 seconds and ticking down. So this is the time that they have. Okay, so we have here what there is knight d4. So you would be asking why leave the queen at c5 unprotected. It's all right because the knight is not pinned, so the queen at c5 is not pinned a while ago. So definitely also the knight at d4 is not pinned. So for example, if the queen took on c5, then there is knight takes e6 check. The king is check, and then white could recapture at c5. So that's the variation a while ago. I would not be dwelling in it because they made their move fast. But if you want to know why, so this cannot be because we have here like this. So check, and this knight is not attacked by any piece. It could recapture here. So let's remove this. Let's go to what happened here. We have knight takes c6, and then rook c8, and then we have knight b4, and then we have b4. Okay, so I think this pawns at f4 and d4 is a very strong are strong pawns. Basically, these pawns here at d4 and f4 I like mini bishops because they control this e3 square and this g3 square. Okay, so I think even with what happened that white has gained material. Basically, it seems that white is already 2 pawns ahead, but the position I think is favorable for black to some extent. Although the engine says with proper play, maybe with proper play, with correct play, white is still uh, has the advantage. White, it says here, white is slightly better by 0.76. Is it a percent? I don't think so. It's not a percent. It's a different calculation. So okay, so Levon is now in time pressure. So although they are allowed 10 seconds for every move they make, so there is an increment. So they know how to handle and manage the time plus the increment. So knight f1 for Levon Aronian. This knight here at b4 protects this c2 and a2 at the same time, and it's very comfortable here. No one can attack this knight at d4, even in his lonesome, because black has the light squared bishop and this is a dark square. So the only way to attack that is for the rook to go a8 and then b4, a4, a8 and a4. and it can be easily defended with a3. So basically, uh, this knight is very strong here at b4, even with the situation that nothing protects him right now. I think it would be Radjabov's turn to go time pressure. He is now in time pressure, 2 minutes 15 seconds and ticking down. Okay, so it seems Radjabov does not know how to improve his position. The problem here is you should be able to improve your position. So the plan could be rook, for me, rook f, and then rook f d8 to protect this d4 pawn. Okay, he goes there. How about knight knight to g3? I think that's a blunder. It's a blunder. For me, it's a blunder because the knight could now go to g3 and attack the h5 pawn. Although they have a different idea, they have a different concern. Yeah, because if knight goes g3, then there is knight e4 attacking the rook at c5 and offering to exchange knight. So I think that's correct. It's not a good idea to do it. So do you think knight e4 would be the move of Levon Aronian? For me, no, it's not a good idea. Sorry, it's not a good idea to go knight e4. Yeah. So it could have been possible that it should have been knight g3, I think. Instead of this one, why not knight g3? Because if here, then I go here. Oh, there's a counter attack. There's a counter attack. I have not seen that. A counter attack. And this knight could be exchanged now. So it's not a good idea to do that. So we have knight d2 and then knight e3 and then knight f3. Okay. So the knight is now attacking the d4 pawn, the unprotected pawn. And then rook d8. Of course, there's no other move. So it's possible now to undermine this f4 pawn later with a g3 push, but there should be some preparatory move like king h2. So the Indian says black is now ahead after this a3. So this a3 is slow. Yeah, I think this is slow. So why make this move? What's the purpose of having this move? So this is a little bit slow. Although it's just a waiting move, it can be interpreted as one. This is a little bit slow. So black is slightly better according to the engines, and the engines refreshed. It updated because of the move knight f knight the knight from e3 goes to. Oh no, there's only one knight by black. There's only one black knight, so I should not have said the knight from e3. So knight g4. So it's now equal. So the engine is always updating its analysis. So knight g4, rook f e2, and then knight e3 again, and then rook f2. So I think this would be a draw. It would be a threefold repetition if there is a repeat of the previous move. If rook f2, and I think it's already a draw. If rook f2, how many rook f2s have happened? Two. Only two yet. Rook f e2 after knight g4. And then this is a draw. This is already a draw. there's a threefold repetition. Actually, I think the computer declared it a draw, or the system declared it a draw. So thank you guys for watching. Uh, None of them would like to take risk. I don't know if there is still a game after this. So they have it's a tie for them. There is still a game after this. Okay, but for now I would be ending the stream and I would be returning uh, to stream the next game. So thank you for watching. And for those that have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe by clicking the red subscribe button, and also kindly click on the bell notification button so that you would be notified every time we have a new video. Thank you and bye bye.